Fear conquered Natarajan Lagur.
So how many of us here have seen the program Fear Factor? Oh, a lot, given the fact that Akshay Kumar wasn't hosting it. So I often wondered when I saw Fear Factor, what inspired participants to indulge in such crazy acts of daring, until I went on a little river rafting trip myself. And I learned that genuine courage lies in facing fear and thereby learning to conquer it. Toastmasters, and guess, Hugo Cabret was a 12-year-old boy living in Paris in 1930s with his father. An inventor who was engaged in the repair of a mysterious automaton, a wind-up robot that would write or draw a painting when activated. His father's death meant giving up school and living in a train station with an uncle who was far from genial and someone who did not love either little Hugo or the clocks. But Hugo was convinced that his father left him a secret message in the form of the automaton. So he resolved single-mindedly to try and repair the automaton and find that message. And he not only found the message behind the automaton, he also found the man behind the message, a former filmmaker and creator of the automaton, who went on to become Hugo's guardian. The rest, as we say, is history in the life of one of my favorite films, also called Hugo. As Hugo's friend Isabel says in the film, the story is about how this young boy single-mindedly went about to find a secret message from his father, and about how that message lit his way all the way home. Real life is also replete with examples of how human beings have used tragedy to create extraordinary value, regardless of dire circumstances. Dan Ariely was an American-born Jewish student in Israel, in Tel Aviv University. A fire exploded accidentally, resulting in 70% burns all over his body. 3 years in hospital gave this young man a chance to examine the nature of his own pain. An examination that resulted in him changing his undergraduate major to psychology and eventually in 2 PhDs. Dan Ariely today is one of the world's foremost authorities in behavioral economics, a field dedicated to understanding the irrational forces that shape the choices we make in our daily lives. Yes, real life is all about the choices that we make. Even when it comes to understanding and accepting death, especially that of near and dear ones. Marianne Pearl was 5 months pregnant when her husband Daniel was killed brutally by terrorists in Pakistan. Undaunted, she traveled the world in search of hope and found it in countries as far-flung as Vietnam to Cuba to Uganda. Amongst women who were courageous champions and unsung heroines of causes that no one else was willing to touch, and who converted anger into indignation, resulting in concerted action, and thereby created hope in the lives of the suffering. The underlying thread between all the 3 narratives that I have rendered so far lies in their protagonists' undying zest for living that enabled them to gather courage and meet triumph in disaster, both evil-mindedly, and treat these 2 imposters as just the same, as Rudyard Kipling said in his famous poem, If. Too much zest for living actually caught up with me in a very bad way on 18 January 2010. I checked myself into the hospital complaining of a severe pain in the abdomen, only to learn that I had a severe liver condition. A year of working 12-hour days during the week without an annual vacation, followed by partying even harder in the pubs of Bangalore over weekends, and finally taken their home. I had a huge workload and lots of pressure in terms of different teams to handle and different colleagues to handle at work. And weekend drinking, friends, was my big stress buster. However, the doctor's prognosis was a huge wake-up call as far as I was concerned. I immediately started playing badminton, table tennis, and cricket in between long hours of office in order to keep myself physically active. Long hours at work continued. Work pressure not only multiplied but increased exponentially. And with a broken engagement thrown in for good measure. But I never went back to my vices. At the end of the year, I had lost 25 kilos. It's hard to imagine, given the fact that I'm still big now, but I was even bigger. So, but anyways, the important point, friends, is that I learned to face my biggest enemy, my biggest bugbear in life, which is fear. And look it straight in the eye. So I leave you with these lines from a very dear poet of mine, William Henley. The poem is called Invictus, meaning invincible. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments this road. I am the master of life.